Across Japan, universities are closing because there aren't enough students, and playgrounds are sitting empty. The Japanese aren't having babies, and it's starting to show. I talked to a sex expert to get some insight about what's going on or not going on with Japanese couples.
Dr. G.
But the first thing he wanted to show me was a product he had developed for those without partners.
Air Lady.
Air Lady.
You know?
Just like a vagina thing. Not really a vagina.
Oh, no.
Do you think that these products that you've helped develop, masturbatory tools, might be too popular? Maybe Japanese people are using this too much instead of having sex.
Dr. Kitamura admitted that some patients might use sex toys a little too enthusiastically and become desensitized when it came to sex with an actual person. But the real problem is that the Japanese just aren't having enough sex overall.
When you say 34% of married couples are not having sex, how do you compare, let's say, to the US?
The average number of sexual intercourse a year is 103 times. The number of Japan is only 48 times.
Wow, it's less than half.
Yeah. Japan is the lowest number of sexual intercourse a year among the world.
Okay, why?
They were tired from work.
But it's not just men who are looking the other way. Japanese women are working harder than ever before. They're putting career first, postponing marriage and motherhood. Today, over 50% of Japanese women are still single at age 30.
日本の中では結構どうなんでしょう、24か5ぐらいで少なくとも結婚をして、で早く子供を産んで家庭を築くっていう。
もう自分のリズムとかもう生活のリズムができたりとかも好きな時に何をやってもいいっていう、これがいざ結婚ってなるとやはり子供ができたりとかするともう自分の時間じゃなくなっちゃうじゃないですか。
With well-paying careers and no financial burdens, Japanese women have a lot of cash and they know how to spend it on products and services that cater to their every whim and desire. Many women are joining the ranks of Japan's work hard, play hard lifestyle. Across Tokyo, after-hours bars known as host clubs are popular destinations for working women. Hosts are young men who are paid to look good and entertain their female clientele.
Hello.
This was one undercover opportunity I couldn't pass up.
Transformation is complete. I am now ready to be a Tokyo host. I think I got the host look down. So this is my make or break moment. This is my time to shine. And if I do well, one day I'll be up there. So when a customer comes to the host club, she can choose which guy she wants to help pour drinks and converse with her. And one of the ways they do that is they look at this little booklet and they can thumb through the various hosts that work here.
この人の指名、あ、すごい楽しかったなって充実した感じでいつも帰ってます。
Hosts bring money in by getting their customers to buy drinks. Lots of drinks.
His personal best is $25,000 in one night.
もう記憶がない。
I don't think I would either. That's a lot of drinks.
Shingo is one of the most popular hosts at Club Air.
やっぱり仕事関係でも上司には何も言えないけど、ここ来たら愚痴れるとか。でこういうところに来てわーってお酒を飲んで酔っ払ってストレス発散して、じゃあまた明日から頑張ろう。
So there seems to be a pecking order at the host clubs. Since I haven't been picked, I've been relegated to helping some of the other guys out. So I have to pour beer for the lady.
なんでビールにアイスを入れるんだろう。
So after all of this grooming, after getting my hair done and wearing this suit, this nice shiny suit that I thought would just wow the ladies, I didn't get any attention. I couldn't even get a woman to buy a drink from me. And realized that I don't have what it takes to be a male host in Tokyo.
Some women don't want to give up the fun and freedom of being single. On top of that, inadequate childcare and employer discrimination toward working mothers takes away the allure of settling down. The government is so alarmed about the baby bust that it now supports matchmaking services and pays couples to have kids. It also created a special government post to promote policies that will support working mothers.
Legally speaking, I think we have by now established fully equal entitlements for women. So it's one thing to have legal instruments in place. That's not enough. Women will have to be self-assertive and ask for the entitlements, and the managers of the firms must come to terms with reality. That's what they have to do.
More working mothers may actually hold the key to solving Japan's dual goal of long-term economic growth and boosting birth rates. But many women remain unconvinced.
少ないからじゃあ多くしようすぐそっちの論理に行くけどそういうもんじゃないんじゃないですか人間だし機械じゃないしそんな
Coming up next, can immigrants solve Japan's population collapse? Or is there another solution? Japan is facing a demographic crisis in slow motion. Birth rates are plummeting, and the population is rapidly aging. The country is on track to see its workforce shrink by 70% by 2050, and its economic growth slow to zero.
少子化はね、実はもう30年ぐらい前から進んでたんですよ。ということはね、これから結婚し子供を産むような世帯が、ね、ものすごい少ないんですよ。でその人たちが仮にね、かなりの人が結婚し子供を2人以上産むとしてもね、実は絶対数はそれほど多くないんですよ。
Sakanaka is one of the most vocal proponents of immigration reform. He says Japan should admit up to 10 million immigrants in the next 50 years. But in a country where less than 2% of the population is foreign-born, and where resistance to foreigners is high, such drastic measures may be out of the question. Buja is one of the many ethnic Koreans who was born and raised in Japan, but she still faces fierce discrimination that can make everyday living a challenge.
でこれが外国人登録。
ブジャさんは日本で生まれて育った。なんで外国人の証明が必要なんですかね。
それは日本政府がそういうふうに決めていますから。だって私たちは税金を払わなくてはいけないんですよ。日本人と同じように全く。でも、今でも選挙権はありませんし、権利は一切ないですね。
In order to receive the same civil rights as ethnic Japanese, Koreans have to give up their family names and adopt Japanese ones.
감사합니다.
Buja, however, refuses to renounce her heritage. This labor union is one of the few organizations fighting for fair working conditions for foreign laborers. In recent years, there's been an influx of workers from China and other parts of Asia.
日本社会がですね、すでに移住労働者の下支えなくしては車1台走らないような状態になっているということですね。ところが多くの日本人はですね、その現実に気づかないまま毎日を過ごしているんではないかと思います。目に見えない存在、インビジブルな存在。
这里面挺潮的。
One of those invisibles invited us to his quarters, an abandoned building where he squats with other immigrants. And like the others, he was brought to Japan to do dirty work, picking strawberries, 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, for less than minimum wage.
不允许我们私自外出，买手机和电脑都不允许。日本的这个研修制度就像奴隶一样。
But conservatives argue that immigrants will create more social problems that outweigh any benefits they bring to Japan's economy.
で彼らはものすごく労働条件が悪いわけです。けどそういう意味で労働条件とか治安が悪いという原因になっているのはむしろそういう日本を代表するメーカーの関連 または安いチープレーバーを入れたい、ただそれだけの話なんです。
While crime rates remain low in Japan, crimes committed by foreigners get splashed onto newspapers and tabloids, further hardening attitudes toward non-Japanese. All this begs the question, is this a racist society? And will this resistance to foreigners exacerbate Japan's demographic crisis?
現実問題、治安悪くなってません？外国人の犯罪が増えてます。
悪くはなるとは思います。やっぱ価値観の違いで。
Perhaps no other immigrant group embodies the emotional tensions on both sides of Japan's immigration debate than that of the Brazilian Japanese. In the early 1900s, Japanese left to find work in the sugarcane fields of Brazil. In its boldest repopulation scheme yet, the government has allowed descendants of those Japanese to return to work at factories. Industrial cities like Hamamatsu, just 2 hours outside of Tokyo, have thriving Brazilian communities where you're as likely to feast on churrasco as sushi.
Can you show us around the store and show us what's popular?
ね、かわいいよ。ね。
Whoa. I see this comes straight from Brazil. How do the Brazilian Japanese and the Japanese dress? Do they dress similarly or are the fashions completely different?
Brasileiro já gosta de usar coisa curtinha, já bem sexy, né? Japonês, né? Não.
Daniela came to Japan 5 years ago and opened this store in Hamamatsu City to cater to other Brazilians looking for a little piece of home. Many of her customers left their families in Brazil to come here for jobs in the nearby car factories.
E a gente pode ter uma vida que a gente não tem lá, né? Lá é muito sofrido, a gente trabalha bastante. E aqui a gente trabalha, pode ter o que a gente quer, né? Com o salário que a gente recebe aqui. A gente só tem a agradecer mesmo ao Japão, né?
But others I spoke to felt quite differently about living in Japan.
Trabalhador que perde mão, dedo, muitas vezes não são encaminhados para o seguro contra acidente de trabalho. Sabe laranja? Quando você corta a laranja, chupa todo o suco e depois joga o bagaço fora, é assim que eles veem os estrangeiros.
The Japanese government hoped allowing more Brazilian Japanese into the country to meet labor shortages would be a good fit. But the reality has been far more complicated.
Às vezes a minha filha tá brincando assim na rua, se tem uma japonesa com outra criança, já pega, não gosta, sabe? É.
Daniela says she plans to return to Brazil in a few years. In spite of higher wages, many Brazilian Japanese say their horizons are limited in Japan.
私はね、日本人というのはね、それほどね、露骨に排外的か外国人差別というには向かわないんじゃないかなと、比較的融和的じゃないかなとは思ってますけれどもね、社会全体でね、外国人と付き合い、それから外国人から学びとか、そういう姿勢をね、日本人がこれから持っていくかどうかね、そこも問題ですね。
踊ってきたいね。ちょっとヒール履いてる。
Will Japan grow to accept immigrants? Or would it prefer to manufacture and develop robots to help deal with its demographic crisis?
日本はもともと人口が非常に多い国ですから、無駄なところにいるワーカーを本当に必要な方に振り向ければほとんど済んじゃうんですよ。例えばテクスタイルインダストリーなんてやっぱりそういう意味では近代工業ですから、もっとロボット化できますね。
Coming up next, can robots become functioning members of society?
Please push my cheek with your finger.
Japan has the highest number of industrial robots per capita in the world, and other kinds of robots are quickly joining their ranks. In a country where the population will decline by 2/3 within 100 years, every helping hand counts. Even major car companies like Toyota and Honda have entered the race, investing millions of dollars to research and develop robots for the mass market.
Do you think that ASMO can become a functioning member of the labor force in Japan?
で、一つはやはり家の中にロボットがいて、で私たちの生活を
こう手助けしてくれるという。
Honda is banking on the idea that Asimo will one day be an indispensable part of the average Japanese household, like a dishwasher or a car. One area where Japan's newest robo-citizens will be most needed is to provide care for senior citizens. Please take the tray to the table. Thank you. 21's creator felt that in order to perform a variety of tasks in human environments, the robot should have a head and limbs, just like us. While the idea of mechanized humanoids might freak some people out, the Japanese seem to have a high level of comfort with them.
I designed this robot to keep friendliness with humans. There is no fear, no anger. Robot should be a partner of humans. So the robot have to recognize the human is very important for them. Then we can have the good relationship with robot.
漫画の世界の中で、アニメーションですよね。その中で鉄腕アトムであるとか鉄人28号であるとか、そういう非常に人間にとって役に立ってくれるようなこういうロボットのイメージっていうのがだいぶ私たちは染まってるとこもあるんで、そういう意味でかなりそのヒューマノイドロボットみたいなものに対する抵抗っていうのがほとんどないんじゃないかと思うんですね。
Japan has always been known for the sheer number of vending machines that are everywhere. There are a number of restaurants now that have these little vending machines right outside their doors, and rather than being allowed to order inside, you've got to order outside. Pay the money, you get these little coupons or tickets, and they will process your order. And there's really very, very little human contact involved here.
Vending machines are just one example of the Japanese acceptance, maybe even preference, for mechanical rather than human service. Combine Japan's love of convenience and technology with its roots in animism, the belief that non-living things can possess a spirit, and you have a society poised to accept the company of robots.
ちょっとひげ触ってみてください。ももちゃんとさやちゃんよ。そう仲良くしてやって。
Dr. Shibata designed Paro to be used for pet therapy and as an easy-to-maintain companion for the elderly.
All body is covered by tactile sensor, so when I stroke Paro feels good. And the whiskers are also sensors, so Paro responds to the my touch. Like it. He doesn't like it. Paro has a learning function. Paro tries to be liked by the owner, so Paro gradually changes his character.
Acceptance of a cuddly, arm-sized seal robot is one thing, but robots with human expressions and voice recognition may be the ultimate test of whether Japan can revolutionize what it means to be a functioning member of society. Saya works as a receptionist at the Tokyo University of Science.
So she's telling me that she can express a variety of human emotions that are going to be reflected on her face. So let me ask her how she's doing. Genki?
元気よ。
悲しんで。バカ。
What did you say to her?
I called her stupid. She got pissed.
In order to realize the full potential of robotic Japanese, roboticists say they need to figure out if and how humans can communicate seamlessly with mechanical citizens. Saya's creator said that future generations of Saya will become accepted members of our workforce.
What have you learned from Saya?
そのちっちゃい子供なんかはですね、さやが怖い顔をすると泣いちゃうんですね。人間とその神様の多分中間ぐらいの感じを多分ああいうロボットに 持つみたいです。でそれを見て僕が思ったのは、もしかしたらああいうロボットは教育に使えるかもしれない、要は先生の代わりに使えるんじゃないかなと思って。
I would actually be afraid of this teacher. The look of disgust and anger would be enough to compel me to pay attention and do my homework. One scientist who might crack the code on integrating humanoid robots into society at large is Dr. Hiroshi Ishiguro. It's weird. It's kind of creepy when I'm super close to her like this, just out of the corner of my eye using my peripheral. I mean, looks and feels like a real human being. Is there something that you're looking for in terms of my reaction to her?
Yes. And by checking the subject reactions, so we are evaluating which behavior is important for human likeness.
I can see how lonely men around the world, though, can be very happy with this robot. Ishiguro has made a copy of himself, a robot he calls Geminoid.
This is the real hair.
Real hair?
Yeah. Well, especially around here, this is my hair.
You're very, very busy. You wanted a way to be in two places at once?
That is the way to use the technology, so we can exist in multiple places.
This is very uncomfortable. I sat down with Dr. Ishiguro to discuss the difference between humans and robots.
Please push my cheek with your finger.
I'll tell you one thing. I feel uncomfortable doing it. So that's a measure of how realistic it is.
If my wife has the Android at home, and suppose that this robot is naturally moving, she can get the I am existing there. That is a kind of the meaning of a human presence.
This is a feature for me. If you want, you can have this kind of a feature.
Since it rapidly developed from the ashes of World War II, Japan has led the world in all realms of technology, unleashing gadgets, machines, and ideas that were ahead of their time. In many ways, this advanced but quirky society has been the closest thing to a vision of the future. But is it simply paving its own unique, distinctively Japanese path? Or is it once again showing us what the future might look like for all of us?